I'm sure that one of the reasons that retirement villages, my parents went into a retirement village, and I can remember my father said to me something that only my father would say to me, to be fair. He'd say, "Oh, well, it's one step, Michael." And I said, "Well, that's a rest home, Dad." He said, "No, no, no." He said, "There's a steady progression. You get used to exiting this particular world, and the retirement village is the first step." And I went, "Oh, okay." So he wasn't, he fully understood that step. But for 50,000, it's a huge number of New Zealanders. The retirement village isn't simply that progressive step. In actual fact, it's a lifestyle. It's a lifestyle they've been looking forward to. They've been working all their time, and they've had for some time. I'm going to head into a retirement village. I like the idea of being safe. I like the fact that everybody else in that retirement village is like me, shares the same values. There's not going to be somebody blasting off at 2 o'clock in the morning, some horrible rap crap with a booming bass next door. I'm not likely to be insulted by a whole series of people who I don't know. And everybody's has got basically the same customs and social mores as I have. In addition to which, I'm in a nice unit, 2-bedroom, 3-bedroom, 1-bedroom, whatever. Everything's there. Somebody looks after my lawns. And yeah, if I want to go and have a meal somewhere nice with a whole group of people or not, I can. Ta-da. So retirement villages, obviously incredibly popular and all throughout New Zealand as baby boomers, the generation that really has changed the world, starts to retire and finds itself a secure existence in their retirement. Yes, but it's not all beer and skittles, and that's what our next guests come to talk about. There is a great deal of concern from many retirement village residents that they are not being treated in quite the way that they'd like to become accustomed, and that the people who own retirement villages aren't necessarily treating them in a way which seems equitable or fair. Cue Nigel Matthews, who is Chief Executive for RV Residents, a residents association with over 12,500 members in more than 375 retirement villages across New Zealand. And he joins us now. Nigel, thank you very much for making time available to us. I understand you're in Wanaka today, is that right?
Good afternoon, Michael. Yes, I am. I'm on holiday for a week, but happy to take your call. And nice segue from funerals and death into retirement villages.
Yes, well, happens to us all. Listen, mate, you're just down the road from me, just quietly, because I live in Cromwell, which is just down the road. And my daughter is in Wanaka, because she's got her last exam today for NCA Level 3. So she's studying classics this morning. So she goes to the school, which is in Wanaka as well. So I know the area well. Listen, just before we go into what you're going to talk about, there's a huge fuss in Wanaka. I don't know if you know this, but this is sort of how provincial we've become. They're going to try and put a McDonald's there in the entranceway to Wanaka. Yes or no? Good idea or not?
Okay.
Careful, Nigel. Careful.
I know. And the thing is, I'm a fan of their it used to be a 50-cent ice cream.
Oh, I love that. The
so
snow
I used to
freeze.
Be a fan of that,
yes,
but they
yes.
put the price up. So look, I saw one in Venice, and it just, when I was touring years ago, and I kind of just put me right off. I went, "You're kidding me." You go to a gorgeous place like Wanaka or like Venice, and then you see the golden arches on the red background, and you're going, something just doesn't quite sit right. How far out do you think they could actually build
They're
it,
actually, it's on the entranceway, so the reason that residents are really upset is probably not so much about McDonald's, but where they're going to be put. So the first thing that you'll see coming into into Wanaka will be...
They could shift it to Cromwell.
Listen, we'd take it with open arms. We don't have a McDonald's here. It would be insanely popular, can I tell you? And it'll be insanely popular in Wanaka too, but they just say it's in the wrong place. And there's a not in my backyard movement prevailing there at the moment. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. Listen, not in my backyard. Nigel, RV residents. People move into residential homes, into retirement villages. And I guess they know what they're moving into. But you're saying that even though they know what they're moving into, those who run retirement villages are treating them unfairly. What are the particular concerns you've got?
Well, look, first of all, I wouldn't say that all retirement village operators are treating residents unfairly. Okay, so there's the caveat there. This is about legislation, and it's about the framework that protects residents in retirement villages. By and large, you've got operators which usually have employed great managers, and those managers do an excellent job in looking after residents in retirement villages, by and large. It's where it starts to fall over with managers that shouldn't be managing residents, or shouldn't be even running retirement villages, and unfortunately it then creeps into retirement village operators who are primarily property developers, and so they need to make a profit. We get that. But when a resident is, for example, exits a retirement village, and let's say they've chosen to exit a village because maybe a spouse has passed away, they've decided to move close to family, and they want to build, buy a small little house nearby the kids. They don't really have the freedom to be able to move out of most villages and do that transition, because the operator doesn't have to pay out the capital sum less the deferred management fee. That's what they hang on to, and it can be up to 30%. The operator doesn't have to pay that out until they've relicensed the next unit to the next person. And that can take 6, 12, 18 plus months with the operator sitting on that, waiting for the right price, waiting for the right person, and doing the advertising as they see fit to try and relicense that unit. All the time they're sitting on it. And it gets even more complicated when the operator has built new units and obviously wants to sell those new units, but we've got the older units that a resident has moved out of and they want their money back. Which unit's going to be sold? Usually it'll be the new unit that gets sold. It's the one being promoted because it's the one that the operators put all their time and effort into building, and they've got money owing on it. So that's just one of the problems. The complaints.
I understand what you're saying, but if I'm moving, Nigel, into one of these things, I'm presuming it's the biggest choice I'm going to make, financial investment in many ways, still, to move into a retirement village.
Yep.
I would have read all the fine print. Are you suggesting that the fine print's inadequate to alert me to this potential problem?
Have you read one of those occupation right agreements?
I haven't moved into a retirement village.
Okay, so, but you're keen to, is that right?
No.
Okay.
No, I'll stay out of one for as long as I can. The whole idea of living with a whole series of people like me right next door to me scares the bejesus out of me.
I was thinking maybe an island for you, Michael.
Yeah, so was I.
Something where you've got your own ecosystem.
But as long as it's receiving probably, greenhouse credits from New Zealand, I should be fine. Well done,
and I'm glad that you're putting the planet first. But if we come back to when they do read these occupation right agreements, it also comes with a disclosure statement. So those two documents alone could be anywhere from 50 to 100 pages in length. Then you get a copy of the code of practice, because they have to give you a copy of that. That's another 50 plus pages. And you have to, by law, go and see a lawyer who will spend an hour with you and
That's right. Yeah.
Now, are you sure about this? You happy?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's a couple of things here. But and we've asked lawyers where there is, for example, been a clause that says that the operator can continue to charge the deferred management fee or accrue the deferred management fee after exit if it hasn't fully accrued, or they can charge capital loss. In other words, most residents won't get the capital gain, but in some contracts there's a capital loss clause which says if you moved in when the market was at the peak and then you're wanting to move out and it's dipped, the operator can say, well, we're going to refund you less the deferred management fee, but we also want you to make up the shortfall because we've had to sell it at a loss because we've lost money. I talked to two lawyers and said, is there a capital loss clause in one particular contract? Neither of them could find it, but it was there. So,
Okay. Yeah, I take your point.
Lawyers don't,
Necessary.
unfortunately.
Well, having said that, that's their job. You expect, and
Well, it is their job, but it's, you know, how do you cover 150 pages of documentation in a 1 hour meeting?
Well,
We just need it to be simple.